Whoa, an 8 string? What do you even do with those 2 extra strings? Oh, you play a bass guitar. Well, I play a 7 string, but an 8 string's a bit much. I'm here to tell you guitar nerds why an 8 string is the perfect amount of strings. And we're gonna look at some beginner exercises and ways to visualize the fretboard today. And we're gonna play E major, starting on the 12th fret of the 6th string. And it's going to be a 3-note per string major scale. I'm going to play through it slowly just so we can all make sure we're on the same page. So here we go. So that's the scale we're going to be using, and before we look at how to move that down an octave, I think it's important to make sure we all know what an octave shape looks like on the guitar. So right now we're dealing with E, and that is on the 12th fret of the 6th string, so it's right here. And this is what an octave looks like. So I have my 3rd finger on the 14th fret of the 4th string. And that is an octave higher than the E we started with. So I kind of think of this shape as 1 fret in between and 1 string in between. And it's always going to look like that until you have 1 finger on the B string or the high E. And then, of course, the B string ruins everybody's lives, so it's a little different. But it's not too bad. So if we move our 3rd finger to the E on the 12th fret of the 6th string, and we apply this same shape, so 1 string in between, 1 fret in between, you'll find your E on your 8th string. So there you have your low E. And you can even reach to 3 octaves if you want. So you're going to need that shape when you want to move stuff down. It'll come in handy for sure. So let's take a look at the major scale now and how to move that down. So we know it's going to start here on that low E we just found. And we need to add 7 more notes until we hit the octave on the 6th string where we originally started it. So let's look at the first 7 notes we play of it normally. And then we hit the E again. Conveniently enough, if we start it down on this octave, it retains the same shape. So we can play that same shape until we reach the E that we usually start on. So it'll look like this. And then we have our scale as per usual. So that's pretty cool, right? Same pattern, just down an octave. So I'll go over the frets with you real quick in case you missed it while I was playing. We have our original E on the 12th fret of the 6th string. We move that down an octave, so 1 fret in between, 1 string in between. We end up down on the 8th string on the 10th fret. So if we're starting that pattern down there, on the 8th string we have 10, 12, 14. And then on the 7th string we have 10, 12, 14 again. Then we have 11 on the 6th string. And then we slide up to the E on the 6th string on the 12th fret. And we have our scale as per usual. So if we keep going, it's 14, 16. And then 12, 14, 16 on the 5th string. And then we have 13, 14, 16 on the 4th string. and 13, 14, 16 again on the third string. And on the second string we have 14, 16, 17. And we have the same thing on the high E, so 14, 16, 17. Now let's take a look at the minor pentatonic scale. We're going to play E minor pentatonic, so it's going to start in the same spot. And it's going to be on the 12th fret of the 6th string. We want to move that down an octave. So let's start by finding the octave again. You're going to take your third finger and you're going to put it on the 12th fret of the 6th string. And that's the E we normally start the scale on. And then remember the rules. So you're going to have one fret in between and one string in between. And there's your low E. It's on the 10th fret of the 8th string. Conveniently enough for the pentatonic scale, the shape will remain the same when you move it. So as long as you know what the first octave of the scale looks like when you start on the 6th string, you can move that shape down to the 8th string on the 10th fret. And that's where it connects together with the shape you already know. So let's talk fret numbers. You have 10, 13, then you have 10, 12, and then you have 10, 12, and then we're back to our normal scale. So you're going to go up to 15 on the 6th string, and then you have 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, and 12, 15. Now if you really want to stay in the same position and not have that shift from 10 up to 12, you can. You just won't be able to reach the low octave. So if you want, you can do, if you're starting at the 12th fret of the 6th string, you can go down to 15 and then 12. And then you can play 15, 13 on the low E. So you'll have